How's it going, everybody? I have no idea what was recorded and what wasn't. I just got a message saying that wasn't enough storage on my phone, even though I deleted a whole shitload of stuff, anticipating that there would be filming today. I guess should have checked that first. So, just to reiterate, it's been miserable weather. Like, there's something about going from winter to spring that the rain happens, the ground is dirty and brown, turns to mud, and there's not enough green on the trees, there's no flowers yet, it's cold out, there's still ice, and it's just miserable. So I did the 5x5 comics challenge over the weekend with a partner. I wrote, they drew, they toned it. By they, I mean him. He did a good job. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It was a chase story, basically a foot race, basically, and went like multiple settings. The thing about this competition was they gave us a prop, they gave us a line of dialogue in a setting, and we used all of them. And I used the prop the most, and I used the setting as an accent, and I used the line of dialogue as like a different note. Like, my rule with fast-paced comics is when you're doing action, when you're doing things that are, because there's more than one way to slow things down and speed things up. The easiest way to speed things up is to have less information. When you have less information that the reader has to process, like, they have to look at less panels, they have to read less dialogue, they have to read less text, they don't have to put things into context. Then there's other ways of slowing down the reader, like you make the flow of panels more difficult and more complex, shall we say, so it's not as simple as left to right, down, left to right, down. And then you have another way of slowing the reader down, which is, and I say slowing the reader down is as in controlling the pace. If you need a fast-paced action scene to be savored, you do like little graduated like movements and graduated panels, like setup, payoff, setup, payoff. Whereas if you want to speed it up, you just go straight to like most dynamic shot possible for each action, and then you don't bother with like setting things up, because you're just going for like maximum cool points. Like, you don't show the setup or the build-up, you just go straight into it. So, the story's plan was to do, not character work, because you can do character work in 5 panels, but simplify the premise. Simplify the premise and throw in little details here and there. Like, my goal with this story was like consequential storytelling. Character enters stage left, so he has to go right. He enters the way he was leaving, but the room he's in is different now. It's a different space, so it's like you have to show that accordingly. And this is probably something that should have been done. I have a feeling that a lot of editors are going to tell me the same thing, in that I'm trying to do too much and too little, and I'm trying to slow that down with my other project, because like I basically told myself if I don't have to have it in 8 pages, I might as well just double the space and make a book out of it. So that's one project going on right now. I reached out to a bunch of my past partners, and I'm going to use some things for like a how-to book that I'm working on. I have like 4 or 5 things I want to put out by the end of the year, so God willing, if I get like 2 of my own stuff done. Shield Lad, I did a couple chapters on. I'm liking the pace that I'm taking with it, but it's just, I have to learn that persistence thing, because it doesn't matter how good of a writer you are or how good of an artist, there's always someone out there that's going to work a little bit harder than you, or going to work a little bit faster than you, or just consistently outwork you, that even if you are better than them, you're not, because they're doing more than you are. I watched over the weekend, I finally got a chance to watch Recreators, and that was such a wonderful like payoff of being able to see something you've been trying to watch forever. Because while I have Amazon Prime, I do not have any of the add-on channels that they have, and I basically told myself I wasn't paying extra for shows that I could just wait for. Like I'm waiting for a bunch of the HBO shows to be on regular Prime, even though I doubt it. Which, it used to be that they were all on HBO, but I don't think that's the case anymore. But I use my Amazon Prime for other things, so it's not like I'm getting rid of it. But at the same time, like, if I wasn't gonna bother with the free music and or not, I shouldn't say free music, I am paying for it, but like the music pays for Prime if I just listen to one album a month. Like what they charge for CDs, if I listen to one album a month, then I covered the cost of Prime. And anything on top of that is, especially the TV shows, like if you watch an entire season, you just save like $40-50 on DVDs. But I would buy Recreators as a DVD or a Blu-ray, just because I love the story and I really love the creator behind it, like Ray Hiroi. He's the guy that did Black Lagoon. He's the guy that I'm trying to think of some of his other works, but Black Lagoon is my favorite of all of his, just because when I discovered it, I want to say it was like either tween or early teenage years, the concept of like an office worker just getting hung out to dry by his company in Southeast Asia, and you know, that's not the important part. The important part is the way that they drew the surroundings around him. When he was in his office job, it was gray tone, super dull, very like unappealing, boring. Then you get to I don't know the name of the town. It's, I want to say it's like a not a maybe a version of Thailand or something, a Thailand city. But the idea is like all these criminal institutions are there. But that's not the important part. The important part is the amount of life that they drew into the area. They put like bright colors, like vibrant, like heavily saturated imagery in there, and like even though it's a more dangerous way of life, the way it's presented is nice, and plus the action was incredible, and just the philosophical stuff that they throw in there wasn't like philosophical jibber jabber. It was actual philosophy applied to what the characters were going through at the time, and the evolution of that, and like from maybe the third major arc on, like the main characters have been going through a progression of like I don't know. This is one of those stories where I don't know if I want it to end, because this could be the kind of story where everyone doesn't make it. But it's been on hiatus for so goddamn long. I don't even know like when it's gonna finish. Like that's what bugs me. So hopefully now that Recreators is done, the guy can get back to making his own book, and hopefully we get a fourth season out of it, because the first two seasons covered a lot of the smaller arcs. Then he went into this giant, long. I think it took him years to tell the Dance of the Dead, which is not the actual title; it's the translation, but still. And so then he started another one that's still going. It's been going for I don't know how many years, 5 or 6. Like because of hiatus, I know that he's been working on it. I don't know like what stage it's at, but I don't know what the end of the series is. I can make predictions, but I couldn't tell you. There's about 2 or 3 things that are set up in the air right now, and I have no idea if because all you gotta do is just like don't touch them, and then keep introducing stuff. Touch one, introduce more stuff. It's really that simple. But you got to build up towards an end, and I don't know what the end is that he's building towards. I also finished Altered Carbon. Altered Carbon is nice. It's not the greatest show on Netflix. It's not. I don't know how to describe it, because the last episode falls short. There's on its own legs, it's decent as a series. However, when you bring in outside criticism of like one person, I was like, I thought we were done with the like the white people are Asian trope in sci-fi, and I thought about it, and if Altered Carbon is like one of many that does it does it well, because the main character is played by four actors. 4 actors go into playing the main character. There's Joel Kinnaman, I think. Yeah, Joel Kinnaman, who is the main guy, and he's super stoic. He's super cynical. His acting ranges from brooding to eye roll, and it works for the most part. It's suitable. Then there's the first guy that we're introduced to, and he's Asian, so the dude tried preserving his identity, I guess, on that level, but you meet him at a low point. Then you get introduced to the original guy, who I want to say that dude was played by the guy that played Hans in Fast and the Furious. Then there's the kid version of him, who's also so. 3/4 of the actors that played him were Asian, and the thing that beats it for me on that front is the character himself was in the future. Even though he was Asian, he was also like that future mutt that everyone like hypothesizes that there's not going to be any one pure race eventually. So I'm okay. Like they're talking about switching bodies here and there, and double sleeving, and like needling, and like having an entire vault of yourself. So the fights in this show are worth it. Like, with the exception of the last one, the fights in this show were worth it. And I'll even go further than that. The main hero has some of the most boring fights of the show. Like, Joel Kinnaman, like, I don't know if he can't do action or whatever, but he, they didn't give him the better fights, I'll say that much. So, Altered Carbon, I would recommend it. It is fun. What else? I watched Fred Armisen's Comedy for Drummers, and I'm not a huge fan of his SNL work, but I can't watch Portlandia. I can't. It's not my thing, but I like this. Like, this one was stand-up with like the sensibilities that he had in SNL that he had in Portlandia at times. So, all right, what are my goals for between now and then? Of course, I'm gonna say more chapters for Shield Lad. That's a given. I want to, like, I always try to write 3 more, but I should be up to like 9 or 12 chapters by now, but I'm not. So, I'm still at 6. Going on 7. Then, with 5x5 done, with the ones I'm working on, I'm checking in with my artists. I got some nice stuff going that I'm sitting on. Then, I think I want to try finishing it. Like, I want to scan in RPG Princess. If I can scan in RPG Princess and the stuff I have for that, I think I can get a build of that going, and then from there I can maybe get an anchor, and then I can get it colored. So, see how that goes. I think that's about it. So, peace.